Hi everyone and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Sunday the 23rd of October 2022. I want to use the Shadowscapes Tarot for today's reading. This is really a very beautiful deck. Cards like this, I think it's just so incredible and well done. And the whole fairy theme, the elementals here, I really like this deck. I want to see what they have to say about Sunday and what energy you'll be working with here. So let's see what the cards have to share. First card is the Sun in reverse. Okay. So you're not on the sunny side of the street with the card being upside down. That's a warning. Then we have the Queen of Cups. Okay, also in reverse. So emotionally, I think there's some bad weather. And then finally, we have the Nine of Wands. But it is manageable. You've been there before. And it's important to stay motivated and to use your inner strength and discipline to keep it upbeat. Okay, that's interesting. So the cards are kind of giving a bit of a warning. They're saying that emotionally, you may feel a little under the weather. You may have a tendency to catastrophize or to find it easier to be in doom and gloom mode than in upbeat carefree mode. And the cards are saying that that particularly shows up in your relationships, that you may feel discouraged or even a tendency to withdraw. Like the Queen of Cups is someone who's very loving and nurturing. She takes care of people. She has amazing relationships. She's creative. She's able to heal. So basically, she's expressing her love for the process of life through helping other people and expressing herself. And it's someone who's really living a wonderful life. It's active, it's positive, and it's fulfilling. With this card being in reverse, I find that kind of a stark warning that the feelings or the tide has kind of pulled out. And you may, like when you go to the therapist and they give you the questionnaire and things like the questions on that, like, do you no longer enjoy doing things that you used to do? Signs that you may be a little bit depressed or you may not be feeling it at that moment. That's what this card says to me. And all the dark colors and the chalice on this turtle being upside down, it's almost like a black emotional cloud appears, and anything that may be bothering you or anything that's bubbling under the surface will appear, will demand your attention and say, hey, what are you going to do with this? It's like the self presents itself and says, something is off. I need you as the conscious adult to help me through this. I'm not feeling particularly loving. And I find this quite a serious warning because what's the opposite of love? It's a lack of love or a hatred, or even worse, complete apathy and feeling completely withdrawn and disconnected from everything. And those are not good states to occupy. So with the Nine of Wands, usually this is someone who's standing in front of a wall of wands. Here we've got an army kind of ready to pounce. And it talks about the worst being behind you. But here it looks like they're about to charge into battle. So it may feel like the big conflict is ahead of you. So this anticipation and this sense of dread. But the reality is that there is no fight. Other than that, there's some emotional bad weather, which is going to pull in and pull out on its own accord. And there's not much you can really do to change that, other than to have compassion for yourself and to have patience that you can go through this process. So with that said, I would, on this day, do whatever makes you happy. Like, anything that feels comforting and nurturing and that connects you to a different stage of your life is going to feel like a homecoming. So, if it's going to Brighton and eating ice cream by the pier, you have amazing memories of that, then please do that. If it's exercising because it makes you feel alive and the endorphins get your blood pumping and you feel happy, do that. If it's playing war games with your friends, I don't know, or dressing up as medieval knights or something and going on a battlefield and like knocking your swords, I don't know, whatever works for you. I think it's important to make this a self-care day, to say, you know what, I do try hard in my life. I'm not going to have sunny days every day. And if I don't feel it, then I don't have to force myself. And if there's this huge dread of some emotional thing coming up that you want to avoid, then don't flog yourself into going there. Just make it comfortable is what I'm getting. The day and the emotions are uncomfortable enough, so it's no good adding a negative narrative or self-recrimination on top of that. Okay, so the Sun this way around is the 19th card in the Major Arcana. This card is at the very end of the Major Arcana, and it's this realization that, wow, I've been given something in life. If I just do nothing and I sit in a room, I will realize that I have a machine working within me that is completely outside of my control. It does it by itself, and it keeps me going, literally. I think that could be said in a much more poetic way, but I'm sorry, don't have the words for it. But it's this natural realization that you are abundant and you have more than enough just because you own your own body. And it's working right now and it's functioning. And because of that, you have options and the whole world is your oyster. So it's this incredible sense of freedom, and it's this lightness that says, hey, it isn't that complicated. All I have to do is be me. With that being in reverse, it makes that carefree nature more difficult, and it puts you in the realm of complexity and rumination and trying to figure it out. So rather than breaking your head over it and giving yourself a headache, deliberately do the things that are uncomplicated, fun, and simple. The Queen of Cups, like I mentioned, is this loving character. The regular Queen of Cups in the Rider-Waite Tarot, I associate with Reiki, because she's sitting there by the seaside and she's got all these pebbles at her feet and this trophy in her hand. And for some reason, that to me means physical, emotional, spiritual healing. So with this card, it's being in reverse and the cup being upside down. It's kind of raining on you a little bit. So put on your emotional raincoat and do something nice for yourself. And I would say, really speak to the people who make you feel best. You know, if there's someone in your life who every time you have lunch with them, you go away crying, no. If there's someone who makes your self-esteem skyrocket and you feel amazing and they make you laugh, that's the person to speak to today. And then the 9 of Wands, if there's a sense of anxiety or anticipation. You know, like if you have a court case on Monday, Sunday night, you're going to be sitting there thinking about the court case and practicing your lines. I mean, it's normal. And that anticipation feeling is usually worse than the actual event. So with this card, it's important to remind yourself that nothing is looming over you. There isn't anything that you have to rev yourself up to emotionally that you dread. It's the actual feeling of dread that just kind of floats in. So it's important not to assign it with extra meaning and to say this is just emotional weather that's going to blow over. So you could argue that's denial, that's self-delusion. And please make up your own mind on whether you want to engage with that sort of thing. In my experience, it's very important to face reality and to deal with difficulties. But then at the same time, I also have to put my hand up and say, it's been my experience that if I deliberately self-delude and I say, everything is wonderful, I look in the mirror and I tell myself how great and fabulous I am, that manifests and becomes my reality. For me, both are true. So play that by ear and see where you're comfortable being. But I really think a kind of pep talk and reminding yourself that this is just a feeling that comes and goes. That's a weather system is going to be super liberating. And then instead you can feel like the worst is behind you rather than ahead of you. And that will lift things and allow you to turn these around, so that things do start to feel simpler and the love for the process comes back. Yeah. Okay, so the court card is 1 and 9 is 10 and 19 is 29. 2 and 9 is 11, and 11 is the master number of service. Oh, okay. That's interesting because the numbers are saying that another way of dealing with these feelings is to be of service to others, to get out of yourself, and to help. That's going to give you a warm glow, like the endorphins for the exercise enthusiasts. So that's another, what is it called? String to your bow, another tool in your tool belt. Have a wonderful day. Well, with what I've just said, that's funny. Well, I hope you have an emotionally sunny and cloud-free experience. And I also hope you discover how resilient you are and that you're able to feel a sense of pride for yourself. You really try hard. We all try really hard. We're doing our best. And not every day is going to be a birthday celebration. Some days are just different for different reasons. So I think the other thing, I suppose, then is one of the different reasons, the purpose of days like this is to rest and recharge and to be nice to yourself. Yeah, to me, that's a purpose. All right. Have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to order your reading with me. And in my personal readings, I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology. If you have any questions about your life purpose or tools that you want to put in place to manage your own difficult feelings or things within you that you feel are obstacles, or to change your perspective on things, if you want to look at a kind of personality profile via your charts, that it's so amazingly accurate. That's why I love doing it. Yeah, and also if you have specific questions about partners, if you want to do a combined chart to see if you're compatible, places that are good for you, things that are coming up in future, I can look at all of those for you. So if you're interested, if you would like a second pair of eyes on your chart, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video with friends and family and whoever. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll speak to you tomorrow. All the best.